My name's Martin Jones and I'm a member of Kirklees Axe the Tax and Benefit Justice Group, and this is a rally we've had here today in Huddersfield as part of a national day of action about benefit justice organised by the National Federation of Anti-Bedroom Tax Groups and Benefit Justice Groups. We started off Kirklees Axe the Tax protesting against the bedroom tax, and even if I say so myself, I think we've done quite a good job. We've organised rallies, lobbies of the councils, we presented a big petition to the council, we've spoken at the council meeting, we've helped ensure that a lot of people have been able to appeal successfully against the bedroom tax. So, I think we've done quite a good job on that. But the big problem remains, the attack on benefits. So we've more and more been looking at the benefit system as a whole, and in particular the sanctions regime that there is at the moment, which treats people in an absolutely disgraceful way.
Sanctions are a part of the Tories' attacks on benefits. They're making it, if you're poor, it's a crime and you must be punished. If you're poor, it's your own fault. You're lazy, you don't want to work, so you must be chased and pressured. You don't deserve benefits because you're not doing enough to find a job or training.
My name's Alison McCullough, and I'm on my own with a child in a 3-bedroom house, and I've had to pay an extra £600 out of my job seekers over the past year for my extra bedroom. Also on top of that, I've had to pay the extra council tax out of my job seekers, which I was struggling to manage on anyway. I've been through the citizens' advice. They've just told me there's nothing they can do about it, and eventually she's had to move out and I've had to look for a 1-bedroom property.
I found myself out of work 6 weeks ago and joined the JSA. And I missed an appointment with an advisor. It wasn't a signing day, it was an extra appointment. And I missed the appointment because basically I forgot. My daughter went back to school that day and we had to sort of school uniform out and things. I've also got another daughter with epilepsy that I have to deal with on a daily basis. I missed the appointment, went straight away the following day, 8:30 in the morning, to make another appointment. And then I was told that I could be sanctioned. Now, I didn't receive any money this week. I've not received any letter informing me whether they've sanctioned me or not. When I inquired, they said that they hadn't made a decision yet, but in the meantime, they've just withheld me money, and I'm told that's for a minimum of 4 weeks. So I don't have any income for 4 weeks now.
Austerity is an excuse to cut people's wages, to cut people's conditions, so we get rid of sick leave, so we get rid of paid annual leave. The amount of people in local councils and the health service who have had to take a pay cut, who have had to have a cut in the amount of annual leave, is absolutely unreal. Because what the reality of austerity is, as far as the government is concerned, is driving down wages and conditions of local government workers, of selling off local government services and the health service to private sharks and vultures who want to make a profit from the misery of the old, of the people who need care, of people who need support, of people who are sick. And in order to do that, they maximise their profits by getting people to work for next for nothing. And that's why they're persecuting people at the job centre as well.
The unemployed are being marginalised, they're being written off, they're being treated like so much dirt under the Tories' feet. And in the meantime, the rich, since 2008, the rich have got richer. They've got money squirreled away in tax havens, they're avoiding tax, they're evading tax. The billions they have between them, for starters, would go a long way to covering this deficit. So we say the last thing is, workers shouldn't pay for the crisis. This austerity is a sham, and there's a lot of doubt now that it's even helping the economy recover. They're saying that not just in the UK, but across Europe, that austerity is holding recovery back.
I work for the government, and it's made me very unhappy that I am helping this government to carry out its agenda of making the poor pay for this crisis. I'm here today because my son is unemployed, and I've seen over the last year he's been in and out of low-paid work, and he's been sanctioned by the Benefits Office 4 times for minor infractions. He's had to go to food banks. He often goes with only 1 meal a day. I try to help him out as much as I can, But that becomes an extra more and more burden on whoever is still working within a family.
The government trying to clamp down on people that are cheating the system, but it's an absolutely unfair way of doing it, because people like myself that are genuine and I'm genuinely looking for work, and I'm being penalised on every corner. I mean, I have to go there every week to sign on. I've got to fill a booklet in to say what I'm doing looking for work, which I do on a regular basis. I don't have an internet and a computer at home. I'm having to rely on library services, and they're constantly nagging all the time, why you're not applying for this job, why you're not applying for that job. It's really, really unfair, and it's the government that are setting these regulations. It's not the job centre. They're doing what they're being asked to do, but the guidelines are just absolutely atrocious.
This is from Debbie Abraham's MP. You're forced to retire because you've got a heart condition. You claim employment support allowance. You have a heart attack during your assessment. You're sanctioned for not completing the assessment. Here's another one. It's Christmas Day. You don't fill in your job search evidence form to show that you've looked for all the new jobs advertised on Christmas Day. You're sanctioned. Merry Christmas. You get a job interview. It's at the same time as your job centre appointment. So you reschedule the job centre. You attend your rearranged appointment, and then you get a letter saying that your benefits will be stopped because going to a job interview isn't a good enough reason to miss your appointment. And so it goes on. Endless, endless, endless trivial reasons for the poor to be hounded and chased and harassed.
I think it's a very deliberate policy by the government. It's very clear that although they say there are no targets for staff, actually the staff are under incredible amount of pressure to sanction people. I think what the government is trying to do is make being unemployed so miserable, so horrible, that people will accept any rubbish terms and conditions in order to get a job. And in that sense, I think it's an attack not just on the unemployed, but on everyone in work as well, trying to drive down wages and conditions. Since the Condemned government was elected in 2010, the number of sanctions every year has gone up from 100,000 a year to over 1 million a year. I really don't believe that people are suddenly 10 times more lazy than they were 4 years ago. It's a political thing that the government's driving through.
I think the campaign has been absolutely splendid in terms of highlighting the injustice, really, that the government introduced when it introduced its welfare reforms and started a war on the poor and the disabled of Britain. And Axe the Tax and other such organisations, the Benefit Justice campaign, have continued to campaign against that injustice. And what we're actually seeing is not as quick as we might have wanted to see it, but it's the crumbling, really, the collapse of what the Tory government and Ian Duncan-Smith wanted to introduce.
There's a course at the end of September the 30th, a one-day course put on by Unite Community, a whole day course from 10 till 4, it's free, and it's for people who want to get more involved and become community activists, not just for the bedroom tax and benefit sanctions, against what's going on in the NHS, against the cuts, all the council cuts and so on. So we'd urge people to get in touch with Axe the Tax about that.
At the moment I've got 2 children at home and one that's left. Because we had an empty bedroom, then we were paying higher taxes, and then because I found myself unemployed, I was told that I would have to downsize the property, and this would be a house that I'd lived in all my life.
Personally, I'm done with Labour now. Tories, obviously, they're all the same. We need to fight for a new Workers' Party, and Tusk can be that thing. If we get behind it, people vote for it, but more importantly, people stand for it. We need to get people standing in every ward for the general election. We need to get people standing for council elections. Even if it's paper candidates at first, we need to get our name out there. We need to become a mass party so the workers know they have someone to vote for and someone who will fight for them. Because now Labour have gone. They're not going to vote. They're not going to help us out anymore. They're for the oligarchs. They're for their own mates.
The public sector strikes in October are going to be even bigger than the ones in 2010. In St George's Square in 2010, there were 2,000 public sector workers out. This time they're going to be even more because we know what's at stake. This government are out to destroy the bedrock of our society, something we've come to rely on for 60 years, something that's made life expectancies risen, something that's given people confidence that if they become ill, they can get free, good service. All this is in danger, and we've got to get everybody on board. So I'd urge everybody, October the 13th probably and 14th, to get to St George's Square, unemployed, whoever you are.
There's a couple of museums. We've got workhouses. There's one in Ripon, there's one at Southall in Nottinghamshire, and they're well worth visiting, because what's interesting about them is that the arguments that people use are very similar to the arguments today. You know, the details of how the unemployed and the poor are treated might be a bit different, but the actual arguments used to justify punitive treatment are very much the same. All the stuff about sort of deserving and undeserving poor and things like this. So I think there's a lot of parallels from today right back to the 1820s, 1830s even.